Ooh, I got a exclamation on the Facebook. It looks like the.
Hey, welcome to Wearded Beirdos. We had some technical difficulties. We were trying to go live at 7:00, but Steve had some other things going on and got it here a little late, so we'll blame him.
Yep, it's entirely my fault. Entirely my fault.
And sorry if you're on Facebook. We just had to boot you because, again, technical difficulties. We'll try to get that up as soon as possible. And is it live on Facebook?
It's trying. Yep, it says it is.
Let's see. No.
Yep. Here, Wearded Beirdos is now live on Facebook.
Let me see. Oh, right there, videos. So this one?
Yeah, that's us right there.
Cacao. Look at that. Give myself a thumbs up because I'm fucking awesome. And I'm going to share this. How do we share? So I can set it on my regular channel. Switch that over. Oh, is it live? Oh, no, it's not sharing screen. So let me share this. I guess we can. I'll share that to my channel. Nope. So I'm using it as me. Sorry, there we go. Now share. What? What am I missing up here?
I think because you're an administrator. It doesn't
Okay.
won't let you.
We got one thumbs up, and that's us.
Yeah,
so we're on a roll. So basically, we wanted to start a podcast. We've dealt with and produced a couple other podcasts for other people, and we decided to maybe just do it ourselves. And instead of incorporating all the ideas that we had for our YouTube channel doing videos, we just figured we'll throw it all into like a podcast, and we can debut our weird idea videos and stuff like that, and our beard product videos and reviews and such via this way, and kind of see what happens.
Yeah, so we're excited to have a podcast, and we're ready to start making these, every week, and we're going to talk about, pretty much everything you can imagine, and try and keep it as fun as possible.
Awesome. Ashley Doodle says that YouTube works, so
very good.
But it's not showing a viewer on. So we have a viewer from YouTube, but I appreciate you, Ashley Doodle.
Very
Thanks
nice.
so much. All right, so how we met. So this is like the origins. I've always wanted to do like a YouTube channel and do videography and things of that nature. And while I was in school, all projects that we could use a video for, one, I'd be the go-to guy, but all my products would be like full-blown productions and stuff like that. And then when I graduated, got in the real world, I tried to find other people to do that. When I was in school, I had an entire class full of people to help. So I had a crew and entire cast of people to choose from. They were always eager to do something because we were all pretty much bored and didn't have real social lives. And a buddy of mine in Malaysia named David, he got me deep into photography, and it took my videography to the next level. And so I would troll the internet and mainly Craigslist looking for people who were looking for me. And that's how I came across this gentleman's ad.
Yeah, I was making a YouTube channel, but I wanted to step up the quality, just the overall quality of my channel. I wanted to learn how to do new things, and I wanted someone to help me, but I also wanted to help someone else, maybe start a new channel. And because I was just doing it by myself, I knew what I could do was limited, and so I put an ad out looking for like-minded people who wants to start a channel, who wants to help me with my channel, just doing filming and setting up and all that kind of stuff. And then I posted the one ad, and then I got a lot of people responding who we're actually interested in getting paid. Like, we're going to start a channel, we're going to make money, we're going to be famous. And as soon as people started looking at my channel and what I had done at that point, which was pretty basic, and a lot of the stuff is kind of, you know, lacking in quality and, you know, in creativeness. So they wouldn't want to be a part of my channel. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to rewrite the ad. And Jeremy had actually responded to my first ad, and I had ignored his email because I was just thinking, like, he's just another guy who wants money. He wants to be famous. I'm just gonna rewrite the ad. I'm not gonna respond anymore. And so I rewrote the ad, posted a second time. He responded a second time and made sure to put pictures of like all his gear and like, yeah, I want to help, or I want to do everything, you know.
And I wish I still had the picture that I sent, because I collected a lot of gear over time, and certain things you would have to buy in a like a light kit. I mean, you can buy an individual light. Like we have 3 lights set up here. We have a key light, a hair light, and a fill light. But when you want a certain type of light, sometimes you got to buy an entire kit. So I would have 3, 4, 5 kits of things. And so I ran to my garage, pulled all the cars out, threw down a couple blankets, and set up every single light that I had, laid all my gear out, and then sent it to him in another picture in the next ad, because I knew it was him just because of the way it was worded and all that stuff. And I was like, why was he ignoring me? Maybe I got caught in spam or something like that. And then so I had to convince him that it wasn't for sex. And we tried to find the ad to see if he still had that, but
yeah, fortunately I don't have the ad anymore. It'd be funny if I did, but I don't. You know, that's how we ended up first getting together, and we talked, and we had met at Starbucks a couple times to kind of hash out ideas for the channel and what we were going to do. And we were really kind of undecided in like what direction to take. And I was thinking like a tech channel or a tutorial channel, kind of like my own. And at the time I was burned out on my channel, and I didn't want to work on my channel. I wanted to start a new channel. And we ended up thinking that we were going to do tech stuff. So we're like, okay, what can we do? And I was at the time thinking, we're going to be doing lots of product reviews. We're going to need a turntable to showcase them. And I was like, we should make a video of how to build one with, you know, spare stuff rather than going out and buying one. And because I had seen some stuff about it already.
Yeah, because originally you said you have a way to. What was it? It was, I don't even remember how it became about beards. That's when I was trying to think. I've been racking my brain for a couple of days now. Well, how do we get it? I know the name was thrown around, but why did beards become a mainstay as far as where we were going with it? But you made the comment, do you have something that will go around the product? And I was like, I don't. And then I was like, oh my God. And then that's where we came with the idea of, well, let's build something. And then he had an idea that you'd said that you saw that someone could make something out of a microwave.
Yeah.
And so then that began. That's where we started, was with that. And so we did a full 10 minutes. I think when the original edit came down to like 10 minutes or something like that. And then we had discussed how like sometimes when you go to a do-it-yourself channel, they would throw all the stuff at you, but then they would miss steps. And then because they were trying to condense it down to like a 3-minute video or something like that, so you would watch it. And I would get upset because you know that they were skipping steps. And so the original video was 10 minutes long, trying to show every single step. And I'm like, hey, why don't we do a video that's smaller, which kind of runs you through it. And then if you want to do more or watch a video that shows you the entire thing, you can do so. And then that's how they end up with 2 videos. But that we never actually put that one on the air. And I don't remember. Then we started looking for a third person.
Yeah.
I think that was
Yeah, we started looking for like someone to help. We thought we needed someone to help with the cameras and the lights, and, you know, to check things for us, or maybe to help, or who they wanted to be on camera, and then we could be behind the camera, which turned out, you know, we got one guy who was he was kind of weird. And he would make weird noises with.
But he was the second guy, though. I never met the first guy. The guy with the head.
The first guy. Yeah, the first guy we had. He had all his equipment, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, I really want to help you with this. It's gonna be great." I met with him. He seemed like a cool dude. He seemed like he really wanted to help. He had some expertise, and he wanted to you know, share it with us and, really add value to the channel. And then the next thing you know, the time he cancels one time, he says, "Oh yeah, the snow or whatever, I can't make it." I said, "Okay." And so another time, like 5 minutes after he's supposed to show up, I ask him, "Are you almost here?" He's like, "Oh, this is just not a good time for me in my life to be doing this right now." So he bailed on us, and I was just thinking, like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I never met him at all. And then there was two other girls. So we
Yep.
thought it'd be cool to have a female because we thought
Yes.
we want at least one person behind the camera at all times, so that things don't go wrong. And we'll show you what happens even when you have a person on behind the camera. And there was the one girl who had a channel, but then her channel, the first one was like a review of weave hair.
Yeah,
like
hair extensions.
hair
or something.
extensions.
Yeah.
It was, oh wow, it's pretty good. And she had like 4 or 5 different episodes. The lighting and stuff like that was I mean, kind of amateurish. But then she had so I started watching her videos, and then there's the video with her, some famous musician. It was Cardi B or somebody. I don't follow that type of stuff. I guess she had made a video about oral sex, and I guess she wasn't good at it. And then so she spent like a 5-minute rant trying to reach out to this individual singer that, hey, contact me and I wish we remember who she was, because I would play the video because
Yes,
it's like, what?
that would be amazing.
It was off in a totally different, inappropriate direction about how she would she would show her how to give oral sex and all this stuff. I'm like, wow. So I don't think we reached out. Maybe I think I emailed her once before I watched the videos, and I saw the videos, and she never got back to us. And so that allowed us to basically not include her or talk to her in the future. And then there's another one that you had spoke with that I didn't talk to that wanted her boyfriend to come.
Yes. She said she wanted to help, that she was a creative and wanted to hang out with other fellow creatives, but she needed to bring her boyfriend with her to all the shoots. And I said, yeah, whatever, that's fine. We can work around that. I mean, it's just, as soon as she said that, I thought, he doesn't want her coming over here to hang out with 2 dudes.
He's got the issues.
Yeah, he doesn't want her coming over here to hang out with 2 dudes. He thinks that we're going to fucking run a train on her or something.
I mean, which could happen. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. It depends. We never really got to meet her. So,
so we're not saying no if that would have come up, but obviously we said no, but you never know. But that was awkward too. At that point, I didn't even want to meet her, because if that's how you're coming at us, you're making it awkward from the get-go. You could have brought him the first time. Hey, this is my boyfriend. You mind if he just hangs out? Yeah. And then no one's uncomfortable. No one's weird.
Right.
Maybe we could have just included him, and he could have been behind the scene guy. We could have thrown him in the mix somehow or something.
Yeah. Like, it never even reached that point, because she just stopped responding, which probably meant like it was causing issues for her at home, the whole coming over thing. And then we have one guy who was a complete, just so strange. He was maybe in his late 40s, early 50s.
Oh, yes.
And he had been missing some teeth. Not that that's a bad thing, but it just
but like the whole right half of his head was empty.
I mean, just to give you an idea of the type of vibe this guy was bringing. And he said he already had a production company, and he'd worked like on a public broadcast or something like that, and he had used like television grade cameras or whatever, and done all this and this, and he had ideas for what we should do, and he was convinced that we should replicate the Try channel because they had lots of views, and it was just
he couldn't let go of that.
Yeah, he was obsessed with these Irish people who would try like American food for the first time and freak out about it. And so he was saying we should try and do something like that because we'd get lots of views. And we were both kind of like, yeah, we could do that. But we were trying to put our own spin on it. And every time we'd add a detail like, oh, well, we should put like liquid ass in the air while they're eating.
Yeah.
See how they react.
And the looks on his face, because in my kitchen we have this gigantic like dining room table, so he's clear at the other, and it was weird, like we're king and king 2. I don't want to call you a queen, but
yeah.
So we're like at this big long table. He's at the other end, and every time, and Steve and I are just cracking each other up with all these ideas we want to do and all this stuff, and he was not having it at all. And so it just made it awkward, and he wouldn't go away. So the conversation, it was like longer than it should have been. So okay, we'll get back to you, and we'll discuss. I think you were in the context. So I think he texted me once, and I didn't reply. And didn't he like text you twice or something like that from a different number?
Yes,
he said,
I was trying to avoid him, and he was texting me, and he texted me from a new number, and I responded, and he's like, "Yeah, my other phone must not be working. I don't think I was getting through to you." And I was just thinking, Jesus, what is this guy on? Why is he going through? Like, why is he doing? Like, can't you take a hint? But yeah, he had mentioned like he still wants to get together, and he wants to, because he had his production company that he had spoken about is called Red Rocket Productions.
yeah.
And I guess it doesn't matter if we say that, but he just said that he wanted us to like fold our channel in underneath this. And so he wanted to control everything. He didn't want to be on camera. He didn't want to help control the camera. He just wanted to kind of be one of the guys coming up with ideas, and then and then manifest it through us.
Because he wouldn't even entertain, because he was a bowler, and that was like when we were setting up the schedules, like what days could you or nights could you film? Because at this time we were doing, it was always Thursdays, I think, right?
Yeah, hit Thursday.
And he couldn't because he had bowling. I was like, oh, we can do some how-to videos on bowling, and he didn't want to hear that. Like he was like almost like we offended him by wanting to encroach it on his personal life, which we thought was weird as well. He just wanted full control of what we did and not
have to do anything.
Yeah,
except for chime in with his ideas, which he thought were brilliant.
Oh yeah,
he thought he was brilliant.
But it was other people's channels. He was wanting to rip off the Try channel, and there's a couple other ones.
Yeah, he wasn't coming up with the original.
But there were channels of just weird people doing stuff. And granted, they had millions and millions of views, but that's their stuff. That's not us, and so that wouldn't be very nice. What you say? You couldn't ghost him if you wanted to. Oh, that's funny. Who are you talking about, Steve?
So after that, we found one other guy who was semi-normal. He was into like the whole like new age, like homeopathic stuff.
Yeah,
he had when he sits there and talks, he does like this like he hiccups with his mouth closed, kind of. It's really hard to explain the noises he would make with his mouth.
Yeah, like you're digging deep down for phlegm. Like not just the phlegm behind your sinuses, but the ones that hang out like around your nipples. Like,
yeah, but we weren't sure if he was doing it like involuntarily, because it would just like happen like randomly, and he wouldn't like address it, the fact that he was doing it.
Yeah,
and it was really odd.
So we assumed he had Tourette's, and we let it go because we never got addressed. We never brought it up. He never said anything. But as soon as we would hit play, or hit record, he wouldn't do it. And so on the Mayonnaise video, I think you can hear him laugh maybe once in the background. But also he's the guy that holds the mayonnaise and the B-roll stuff. Cool guy, but he never would offer any input. Mm-hmm. And we thought, okay, we need a third person because we need a camera guy, but that didn't pan out. And we're talking, we should be showing the video. So we'll do right quick. Oh, the phone call guy. So what we'll do right now, we'll show you the original video that never got posted on how to do a lazy Susan. And to give you an idea, so this is the very first video we did. We didn't have no background, so all I had was a double shelf, like a double filing cabinet, and a moving blanket set on top, and that was pretty much our whole entire production studio at the time. Oh, this is the 3-minute version.
Okay. Yeah, so I just came over. This is like the second or third time we'd ever even met, and it was like completely awkward because we were just, we didn't know each other. We didn't know what each other was like okay with like talking about. So it was just kind of like we were talking about like all the safe things like the weather and like, hi, how you doing? And
yeah, this is before we started looking for people. Like our humor hadn't synced up. You didn't realize that, hey, we're both fucking hilarious. We need to just capitalize on that.
Yeah, and then we were still like chugging full force towards being a tech channel that and we were going to do product reviews, and it was going to be like down that space, that niche. But it just never ended up going that way.
Okay, there's the moving blanket that I just have stacked up in the garage. And then there's like 3 lights set up, 1 camera, and we're just it's being awkward, and I don't like we're not communicating, he's just doing it. I'm just standing there like an idiot because he already knew what he wanted to do. He didn't communicate with me. And he had B-roll. I think, did you have B-roll of you going to the
yeah, I had B-roll of me going to Goodwill to get the microwave that I used. And I was kind of like walking through Goodwill with a GoPro and just walking around, but it was just so awkward, like having to do that. I'm not good at like vlogging or like, acting like the camera's not there when I'm in front of other people, like in public, like I'm not doing anything that's anything weird, like, because people see that and they're like, that is kind of weird. There's a guy walking around with the camera, like filming everything. And so it makes me feel awkward. I'm terrible at it.
All right, so the next video, I thought I had Is this the final? I thought I had a regular just cut by itself. I thought I found it's right there. Awesome. And so this brings us to having we wanted a person that was behind the camera. However, when we had the person behind the camera, that person was supposed to make sure everything was in focus. And so, oops, what happened? There we go. And so that person was supposed to make sure everything was in focus, but he did not do so. And so that's why I started very first video. Steve came with me the idea, let's do like a mock beard product.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I guess what are we going to do? At this point, I was like, I have no idea what we're gonna do. Like, and he throws out mayonnaise.
Yeah, I was just thinking like, let's take a jar of mayonnaise and review it like it's like a high-end beard cream. And we thought it would be just funny just to see me put mayonnaise in my beard and kind of react, and because it is not like, it's kind of gross, and it just to have all that mayonnaise on your face is I don't know how to explain it, but it stinks and it kind of burns, and
the smell, because for one, he said, oh, we thought it would be funny. I didn't think it was gonna be funny at all because it completely disgusted me, but I liked the idea of it. And so if you watch the video, as soon as he opens the jar, you'll see the smell hit me, and that's I clench my jaws in the middle of it. And that at this point I'm completely just disgusted because I can't stand mayonnaise to begin with, and the smell hits me. And then he scoops it in the sounds. The sounds were gonna get picked up. So we were still like trying to figure out sound quality and stuff like that. And so when he reaches in here, like all of that stuff, and then as soon he starts to go towards his face, but we'll roll it. And for those of you who haven't seen it, this is the Beardslay's. And the reason it's out of focus, so the guy that was the Tourette's guy was actually already behind the scene, but he did not. Yep, did I not do sound? Yep. Hold on 1 second here. I messed that up.
It's muted on the video player.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Oh, I messed that up. Give me 1 sec here. I need to back out, and Steve's going to reset the camera because the camera. Give us 1 second here.
Oh.
Technical difficulties. Thanks for standing by. And so let me. There we go. Rewind this here.
I'm Nigerian Steve.
There we go.
And hey, what's up, YouTubers? We're the Wearded Beirdos, and I'm Nigerian Steve.
And I'm just Jeremy.
And this is a product review.
Was that there? Took probably 10 minutes to film. Like it was like on a loop. Because we didn't know what to do.
Right.
On the intro, we just kept doing it.
Yeah, and for some reason, it comes across like we're doing a commercial or like a as seen on TV ad, and I just thought treat it as serious as possible, and it might be funny just to, see a guy put mayonnaise on his face, thinking it is, some type of like beard cream, but
Which
turns out
I
it's
wasn't
mayonnaise.
privy to that conversation, and that's where. So we'll roll. So we'll talk in like commentary as we go. And so it's out of focus because Ryan was supposed to.
So,
I
Steve,
didn't mention his name, but he was supposed to be
Product review.
dealing with focus.
Product review.
And he was supposed to slide that, but he wasn't paying attention the first
Today
time.
we're reviewing Beardsley. That's right. This came to me by word of mouth from a good friend of mine, and I think we all have a friend kind of like this, and especially if you're from Colorado, you know what I'm talking about. Friend who smells a little bit too much like patchouli and pot.
So in the background is a regular Muslim
put that in
gray
perspective before legal here
photography
in Colorado.
background because we weren't sure what we were going to do yet.
Right. Now, Beardsley is a non-GMO, all-organic, all-natural, gluten-free, egg-based beard cream. First of its kind. That's right. You can use this on your beard, your baby's face, your mother's face. And
It's like right now, I'm still trying not to laugh, got a little smile, I'm having fun, playing along.
Okay. Maybe not every day, but I digress.
And there's the laces we made.
Today on the channel, I'm going to review this product. I'm going to talk about the
And
pros,
there's
the cons, and
the
whether
guy-
you should
the
go
reasons
pick this
not to
up
focus.
at your local organic retailer. As per the instructions, it says to grab a handful of cream and work between the palms and rub deeply into the beard all the way to the skin. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to talk about the scents, the feels, and just whether I feel like it's a good cream or not. Compared to other creams I've used, and I've used a lot of different creams on my face. So just texture-wise,
Right here, yeah.
it looks a
Smell
lot
hit me
different than
about
other
right
creams I've
now.
used. Maybe not as smooth. It's a little bit thin, if you can see.
Focus.
Yeah, I couldn't get my goddamn camera to focus on the
It's gonna
mayonnaise. It
focus?
pisses me off.
Yeah, like I'm losing my shit right here now on the inside. I'm dying.
So, large handful of cream, as per instructions. Work between the palms. And then work into the beard. Work into the beard.
I remember how
the
pungent
skin.
the mayonnaise would smell like. It's such a strong mayonnaise aroma. It made me dry heave there for a second.
It's
Okay, so here, and not only am I grossed out because the smell, like you said, the smell was bad. You don't really notice how bad it is on a sandwich or whatever when you're around it, but by now the entire room is consumed with the smell of mayonnaise and the sounds of him rubbing it into his beard, and the fact that he's staying so straight made it twice as funny for me. And in my mind, this whole time I'm thinking, man, I'm ruining this shot, and there's no way we're gonna ever do it again. Oops, I messed up. That's why it's not in focus, because we weren't going to do it again in focus once we already saw the footage. Because as soon as we did this, he cleaned off. And then we went.
moistening. It's very thick compared to other creams I've used.
It was just like fucking rubbing goddamn grease on my
Not really
face.
used.
Oh yeah, and so we had discussed the liquid ass, and so he had no idea I was going to spray it, and neither one of us had smelled it up to this point. I had it in my pocket the entire time because we were going to try to get the behind the scenes guy. We're going to try to get him and have him do something later and spray it, but I was like, we're in the moment now. Let's just go ahead and see what happens, because I wanted to get his original reaction, but at the same time, you got my initial reaction, because neither one of us has smelled it up at this point.
To the thickness of this cream.
It smells just like raw shit, like raw fucking cabbage shit.
Yeah.
Like you ate a bunch of cabbage
It's got a
shoot
very
and then had
pungent
the
aroma.
rounds. It was terrible.
Smell like
Now the room smells like asshole and mayonnaise.
I've worked it in all the way, and there's some, salty, sweet undertones, and it's not pleasant, actually. I can't really highly recommend this cream. compared to other creams, I would say this, out of 5 stars, I would give this a half of 1 star.
I'm trying so hard
smells
to keep
very
my composure.
assy.
I'm thinking right now I'm ruining the
It
whole
smells
entire
very
episode.
assy.
Or the shot in general.
It's very sour. It's
I'm thinking,
actually
Steve,
burning my face right now. Yeah, it burns. It's very salty. It does smell. It does smell like a hoagie, though. I would say it's a bad recommendation. I wouldn't get it. Beardnaise gets a half a star. In the Wearded Beirdos scale, that's a Hitler stash.
So loud.
So, yeah. Say,
And right here, I have the realization that Steve hates
pretty
me
sure it's just mayonnaise.
at this point.
Me too. Till next time, we're Wearded Beirdos.
Wearded Beirdos signing out. I'm Nigerian Steve.
I'm just Jeremy.
Till next time.
Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Turn the fucking camera off, Ryan.
And so, yeah, I thought for sure, because we only have been hanging out for about maybe close to a month now, maybe, but not really hanging out. All our conversations were around the channel, whatever. We hadn't quite built a friendship. So the whole time I'm standing there when I'm gathering my composure, because I hadn't basically like figured out his mannerisms and his sense of humor, and now it just cracks me up. But in the moment, I'm thinking he fucking hates me. Like, we're never gonna do everything ever again. I remember I kept asking him, "Do you okay with this?" And I'm like, yeah, I think so. I think it's good. Like the little laugh, the laugh made it like this. Even his demeanor now is kind of how it was. And I'm like, bro, did you like it? He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna see him again. He's gonna leave the house. I'm never gonna see the footage. He's gonna ghost me.
Yeah, I'm kind of subdued, when people, ask me certain things, it's just like, yeah, everything's cool. But, yeah, if I wouldn't do it again, I don't think. If we needed to redo that video, I don't think I would. Well, first of all, my beard is not like as prolific, so it wouldn't be the same effect.
Yeah, you no longer have that terrorist look.
Right, yeah, the terrorist look. I wouldn't do it again, but it was fun while we did it, just to goof off and do something that was not supposed to be serious, or that we thought would be funny, and it just kind of we just kind of ran with it. It was all kind of almost improv. There was no script.
Yeah, even the ending was on the fly. Like the fact that it went back and forth, but like when you watch the video from our perspective, like this is where you see us start to sync up. Like we're on the same page. Like if I say something, I can rely on him to say something and to run with it. Like and that's where we had difficulties trying to find a third, because a third person just didn't fit into the mold of what we were trying to get. We would sit in a meeting, because we even met with a couple other people after. I can't remember. This is when we were going to revamp it, because after we did the first video, we thought like the bar was so high, and then we took some time off to see. Oh, did we do Beardsley before? Yeah, we did so I had reached out to a couple beard companies to see if they would just give us free stuff. And so after we did, rewind. So after the Beardnaise, we went and looked on Amazon to find products.
Yeah, because we were thinking we should either keep doing mock reviews like with other products for like to put in your beard. Like I was considering like motor oil or something else, like, and then also pretending it was a different type of beard product. And we had decided that maybe we should actually reach out to an actual beard company and review a real product. And it would be, because we thought it'd be cool if we, had that type of, connection, had a relationship with a beard company. We thought that would like boost our views and get people brought to our channel. We thought it was going to like, funnel people from beard pages or whatever beard products to our channel, and we'd pick up on that audience. And I don't know when we had decided that we were going to call ourselves the Wearded Beirdos. I remember
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't remember.
We were trying really hard to find a name, and I remember you had came up with it, but I don't remember when we decided that we should start doing strictly beard stuff.
Right.
And,
well, you'd already had your original. So Bearded Techie,
yeah,
was his channel. I hadn't had a YouTube channel yet. And so all you had was Bearded Techie and a few videos.
Yes.
And originally what I wanted to do, because I wanted to be in behind the scenes. And so my role was kind of, hey, I'll help you produce your channel. And we'll kind of leave it at that. Because when I answered the ad, all I wanted to do was do the behind the scenes stuff. So I had the gear and all that stuff. And then it developed into this. And you already had Bearded Techie, but you were like, nah, you were like you were burnt out of your channel.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to do anything like that. And so now what do we do then? We're going to create our own channel. What do we do?
Exactly. Yeah. What direction are we going to go in? And we decided that we could go into like the beard space, and we could still do tech stuff if we wanted to, and just kind of fold it in. And Jeremy had reached out to a bunch of different places, right? It wasn't just Beardsley.
No, there was like anyone that I could find online that was accessible, because a lot of places don't have a contact. Even because we live in the Denver area, and the Rocky Mountain Beard Company has zero way to contact them on their website.
Right.
And so I would try, and Beardsley was one of the main ones that it was easy to get their information. And again, you don't know if they're ever going to reach out to you. But I sent them, I think it was an email. And then within a couple of days, they sent me an email back. Yeah, we're going to send you some stuff. Give us your address. And, we'd already bought their small one first. Let me rewind that.
Yeah, because we hadn't heard from them in a while. We thought, okay, we'll just buy it ourselves and give it an honest review. And then right after we had bought it, they got back into contact and said, hey, we're going to send you some stuff.
Yeah. And then then they sent me an email saying it's on the way, and then nothing. I'm like, okay, maybe they're just joking. Well, they had been emailing me it was in my spam. So all of a sudden one day I get a package, and I was like, well, what is I wasn't expecting anything. It's a big, huge box. And so look on the back on that top shelf, there was one box with all that stuff. So they sent us pretty much everything they had. It was like $150 some odd worth of product that they sent us for free. And I was like, oh, okay, here we go. And so then at that point, now we're like, okay, now we have, product. Well, let's kind of do something with this. And so then we started the shift in the thought process went from making skits to actually maybe we should try a real product channel. And then so we ended up doing like a 20-minute infomercial with all their products. But then we realized that's 20 minutes long. That's way too much.
It was just so much to review. Like there's so many different things that they sent us. And rather than focusing in on like one product and like at a time, we thought, okay, we'll just do all their products. We'll talk about it. We'll, kind of demonstrate it. I mean, we didn't use any of the beard washes, but we did one thing, then another, and then another, all in kind of like this chronological order. And it turned into like this home shopping network style video that was super long. And we were just like, we didn't even think that we weren't sure we wanted to release it, because it was too long, and we thought we could chop it up, but we weren't sure which pieces to use and give the company. And we had told them that we had finished the video, and what do we want? What do you guys want us to do with it? And they never really got back to us. So we just kind of left it. And I was talking to Jeremy, and I was just thinking, maybe we should just redo some of that, because we have all these good products and we could actually review it, but do it, instead of like a shopping network type thing where you have two people like standing on a stage and you're talking about it. Like I know some people out there have got to have seen like a home shopping network, where like where two guys are talking about knives or whatever and just going on, this is such a great,
but wait, there's more.
Right. Yeah. That kind of stuff. And so we were talking about maybe redoing it and focusing in on maybe one or two of the key products, and then making it more, cinematic. But it's just one of those things. It's just like, I don't know if it really adds value to the channel just to do more, to do a beard review of this, because we're in such a unique space, because we could do funny stuff or we could do beard stuff. And so we're kind of like, we're still kind of like, where are we going?
Yeah.
And
so we filmed several episodes.
Yeah.
And some will never see the light of day. And so when we started doing the beard products, Steve edited the big one down to 3 individual ones. And then so here's a sample of the, I guess, part 1, and it shows you all the products and stuff like that. And sorry about the shameless Mountain Dew plug there.
Hey, what's up? We're the Wearded Beirdos, and today's episode is brought to you by Beardsley & Co.
Oh, and at some point we really didn't have names that either. That's why I was Just Jeremy in the first one, and then became Reviewer Jeremy in this one, because I found out that justjeremy.com and all that stuff was already taken. So I was like, oh man, I don't really have an identity. And so that's why then eventually I became Dr. Chatta once I started my channel. And you can see here he was the Bearded Lord Photography, which I think he still has. He still does photography on the side. But then the Bearded Techie came back in. So now we're known.
Yeah, I was rocking Nigerian Steve as kind of my nickname or my, my stage name, because I had gotten back some, like a 23andMe thing saying I was 0.3% Nigerian, and I thought that was funny. And I ended up not really wanting to use that as my stage name because I didn't want to be locked into that personality. And so, so you can see here we got all these different products, and we were just going to start,
They were kind enough to know existed
going one by one.
Products. And we were...
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off there.
They're single...
so there's the one that we ordered, the first one, the one that's in his hand, and that was like $5.95. And so we're just going to buy it. And I had a skit, which I apologize right now for not having that video, because that was when we were still doing skits. And so there's a shower scene
right.
The video. So if you go on our Instagram, there's actually a picture of me like looking around, holding my headphones out, where Steve is you see Steve popping out of the shower. So there's a whole skit based around that. And so a lot of our ideas come with essentially like a punchline. So here's the punchline, here's the funny part, and then we build a skit around it. But then once we got all of the stuff from Beardsley, we kind of ditched the original idea, just because we shifted and hey, we're gonna do an infomercial. With not what we meant to do, set out to do, but that's what it became. And then we didn't like the direction of that one because we didn't want to be pigeonholed in like that, because then we're cinematographers and we're like funny and all that stuff first, and then we didn't want to get stuck in that. And so the pressure of trying to remain funny, but then this seemed boring doing stuff just like this. So I babbled a little bit, but
beer products, which includes their shampoo and conditioner,
and it wasn't like a true review. It was just kind of like us looking at their stuff and saying, yeah, this stuff is great. We weren't like, we were so excited that somebody had sent us something,
right,
that we felt obligated to give it like a positive review. And the products are good, and they smell great, and some of the beard oils and stuff are really, they're high quality,
including the wild berry flavor, the cantaloupe flavor, the allspice flavor, and the lime flavor. Also, not to forget the ultra conditioner. All right, so here's the
part one. Yeah,
comes in.
That's what I mean. You get the gist. You've seen one unboxing. You've seen them all. And when we first set out to do the podcast, so this one right here out to the left, we were actually going to give away today, but no one followed the rules and read that if you joined or subscribed to our mailing list, that we would do a drawing. So we were going to have a big prize wheel and all that stuff today. So maybe in a future episode, so we'll say now until our next episode on Friday of next week, if you join our subscribe to our mailing list and such on our website, which is weirdedbeirdos.com, which is the only thing you can do on that channel is subscribe. We'll put you in a drawing and give away the one off to the left here on the screen, which has a beard oil, a beard lotion, and a beard balm, right?
Yeah.
Balm, lotion, the hydrator, volumizer, and detangler, and then that little gay comb. And then like second place was going to be like a t-shirt or something like that. And then third place was we have a bunch of these things in the center are beard wipes, which are basically wet wipes in a condom package, essentially.
Yeah. Just single wipes, individually packaged wipes, just to wipe your face pretty much. I don't know how practical that is to carry around that kind of stuff. Maybe if you're going out to eat ribs or something, but still. Yeah.
Like the idea is cool. I think as a novel type thing. And if you buy a whole kit, that's kind of cool. But at no point do I ever see myself using a beard wipe or carrying that in my pocket because I don't want to be shot by police with a beard wipe. It'd just be embarrassing. What do you have on him? A beard wipe and a beard wipe.
Yeah.
That's what I felt.
I don't know where else you were going.
I was. It almost got real. It got real dark just because of the times. Like, oh, a beard wipe and death. It got real dark real fast.
Yeah.
So I apologize for that. So, but then we shifted from that. Well, then we kind of took a break just because we didn't know what we want to do. Because you saw the original was the Lazy Susan. We're going to do tutorials. And then we said no, because that was going to be for your channel. And then we said no on that because he didn't want to do his channel anymore. And then Mayonnaise came to be, which led to us buying the small berry flavored Beardsley from Amazon. And then they sent us some stuff. And so we ended up, like I said, we'll next week we'll show you the actual skit that we did, the shower scene with the shampoo. And then I reached out to them around Christmas time because May was when we started. I think that's when we shot Beardsley. And so then around Christmas time, we were going to try to revamp it up and fire things back up. And that's when, around the time I started working on Dr. Chatta YouTube channel. And so, and then we did a couple things. You were doing stuff on your channel, and we were kind of we're looking for a third. And that's where and then now we fast forward to trying to find a third again. And that's when we found the one guy. We met him clear on the edge of no man's land. Thought he had a cool computer until you started talking about yours and shut him down.
Right. Oh yeah. He wanted to do skits. He wanted to come up with stuff and film it, but he was into horror and he wanted to do mainly like comedy, but he had ripped off some kind of Netflix show and was trying to say that it was his idea or something.
Yes, because you told me that after. Yeah, because you're like, that's exactly this channel or this idea, and I had no idea at the time.
No. Yeah, so we ended up not hearing from them because I think what we were looking for when we went online to look for like a supporting, someone to help support what we were doing, we were looking for someone who also had gear, know-how, and who just kind of wanted to get in on a channel, not necessarily start a new one, which we were debating, but we just wanted to add someone to the channel who maybe even wanted to be on the camera or help film and knew what they were doing, not necessarily because we never really found anyone like that. It was just some people who had their ideas and wanted to, start working on those, which I understand that makes total sense. Like I want to work on my ideas too, but we were searching for something that was like next to impossible to find.
We were trying to find a third us.
Exactly. And then we found another guy who thought we should do podcasts, which we were like, okay, we could do a pod because it was a podcast centered around interviewing bands. And the idea was really cool and we were all interested, but just the fact that it requires so many schedules to line up for the band members, for the hosts, and to get everything lined up. And then we wanted to do like in studio interviews and see them play. And like, it was just so many things that lined up that we were never going to get to work out. And so that kind of just fizzled out, especially after coronavirus hit. We just, decided that's done with.
I think he had bigger aspirations and he could basically deliver on too, because it was mostly his idea. But again, we were looking for a third to basically back them, do what we do behind the scene, come up with the ideas as a collective, but then have somebody out there to be a representation of the ideas that we had. And then we ended up, that guy, he reached out to us again. I think he traveled or something happened. He disappeared, then popped back up. And then we started working on 2 other podcasts. And that was when this kind of idea, like, wow, this is kind of cool. Like just having a discussion and talking about things. And then, so like the progression started with a Craigslist ad, ended up doing some podcasts. And then the other person that was doing the podcast with us ended up moving out of the country, just up and kind of bounced. And then we were just we tried to do it via like a webinar type situation where all different, but that person's overseas in a whole another time zone, and that just couldn't sync up. things kind of fell flat. We pulled away, focused on our channels, and it's like, hey, let's try to revamp the Wearded Beirdos and see what happens. And then I'd reach out to another company and then started getting a bunch of products. So on the second from the top shelf is a whole bunch of stuff we're going to give away at some point as well that we're just sending us. And that's it's Grow Alpha Beard, but they stylize their logo as just Grow a Beard, which is kind of clever without being, I'm sure it was intentional.
Yeah.
But cool products, a little lower end as far as price point and stuff like that. But Beardsley never got back to us. They're tagged in this and some things, and we'll see what happens. We'd like to reestablish that relationship. They probably think we ghosted and bailed on them because we didn't deliver right away. Which we did. We just didn't put it up.
Took the product and ran.
Yeah.
But so we're still just moving forward. What, learning how because we got back together as the Wearded Beirdos, and we both have our individual channels, but we wanted to do something collaborative and just kind of get a feel of what's going to happen next. And we decided that we should do a podcast because we both like the idea of kind of sitting down, talking about events, talking about what's going on in our lives, funny stuff with the channels, and just see how well we did.
Yeah, like we have a new episode that's going to debut here in a little bit that we shot recently, and it was more or less like use this as a springboard, sit down, have our conversations, be us in a podcast type situation, but also introduce our skits. And so we can pretty much everything that we've shown you so far, but to throw into a podcast and discuss it and make it not just a video. And if we don't have a new skit to put out, we can still talk about beard stuff or just funny stuff and just continue to keep the momentum going and not stall out like we did before, because who knows where we would be now had we started, because we started May of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we are almost a year and a half later, or over a year later, not quite a half, and it's really starting to settle in and go from there. So hopefully it becomes what we wanted to be in the first place. And we can still use beard products and talk about them and do giveaways and still, establish those relationships with companies and just give away free stuff. Like that's the best part of it. And you can't use it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Coming up with, the giveaways and having people come onto the show and talking about stuff. So this podcast, is, the next iteration of,
We're the Wearded Beirdos.
the next, the next stages in our, evolution.
Agreed.
But, we also want to branch out in our podcast, talk about a lot of things. Now, this first episode is, like kind of our origins, just to give people an idea of like how and when and who, pretty much.
Yeah. Because otherwise we're just some random dudes that have one video on YouTube.
Right. Yeah. So, this kind of gives everybody an idea of like the scope of, the channel and like, the effort that's been put into it, but hasn't actually, no one's seen. But, this podcast is, is going to be more than just us talking about, our videos, like, moving forward. I don't want people to get the wrong impression, just thinking these guys are just talking about themselves, filming a bunch of videos that no one can see.
Yeah, because we had like 5 or 6 episodes.
Yeah, we were thinking like we were going to do a weekly release originally, and then or bi-weekly or maybe monthly, and we were just going to stockpile the episodes and then, start releasing them sometime in the fall or the winter. And it just never kind of happened because I don't think either of us are like truly satisfied with the way things turned out on a lot of those things. So it's like, we know we could do, higher caliber work. So it's,
oh yeah, like we're still here, guys. And so we're using a DSLR as our camera because the quality is way better.
For some reason, it's
turning off on us.
Yeah, that's just the.
So we're still here. I promise. There we are.
The most bizarre thing.
So yeah. So I guess we're good. If Steve's out of focus, you already know what it looks like by now. How did that even happen? That's what I'm talking about. I didn't know that was even possible. That was cool. So those of you who are high right now and that just flipped around, it actually flipped around on purpose. You're not seeing things. And I think too that the amount of effort that it goes into creating, because when you see the skit that we did with the shower skit, that takes time. Like when you have just two people, and maybe I should wait to talk about that on the next episode. We'll show you that episode. But when you try to actually create and paint the picture of what's going on versus just two guys standing in front of a camera, when it's just the two of us in front of a camera, that's easy. Obviously, we would prefer a third person, but if we can't find a third person that we can rely on, we end up with a out of focus episode with Beardsley. And then we have the ideas that we have require more than just the two of us,
Right.
because we can't film each other the entire time. Because even looking at some like the lighting and stuff on the skit that we did, it could have been better. And then so a lot of the episodes are like, I don't want to keep doing stuff because the two of us can only do so much. And I think that's why we started looking for a third, and that's how that we get caught up in that. But then we run across a third, and we'll sit in those meetings, and you and I will be riffing off these ideas, and we're just cracking up when the other person's looking at us like we're retarded.
Right.
It's like, if you're not feeling us, we're not going to feel you. I mean, so it sucks because even though the podcast that we was doing, we would throw ideas out there, and instead of listen to the old podcasts, and we would be the driving force, and I know if I say something ridiculous, Steve's going to pick up and run with it, and vice versa. We already know that we're in the same mindset. But when you throw another person in that mix that doesn't have that, and you throw an idea right quick, and it's so absurd, but it's for entertainment value, and they just say something totally opposite, and then like in your mind, like, oh my God, I can't believe you just dropped the ball on that, and then it takes you out of it, and now you're trying to drive an episode by yourself, and then it's really not worth it. So the amount of effort and work that it takes to do what we want to do, I don't think we quite have the ability and the people in play just yet. Hopefully we will at some point, but we're going to try our best in the meantime and use the podcast to drive that.
Yeah, because when you film something, like, the goal is to, ultimately tell a story, and using, video, and you got to line up your shots, and you have to plan them out, and you have to know what you're going to do before you go into it. Because just to improvise, something where you need multiple angles and you have to have, kind of scripted lines is almost impossible. And then getting together and then setting up lighting, setting up sound, setting up the camera, getting everything placed right. And then we're doing everything. It's time consuming. It's not like we can just go do it in like 15 minutes. Like, it might actually take like 15 minutes for the actual filming, but the setting up and the moving of the lights and the microphones and getting everything like that into place is really time consuming.
Oh, it's
and
ridiculous.
it takes a lot of energy. So by the time you're done with all that, you're just like, I'm almost ready to quit for the day. And you're still got to get in front of the camera and, be that in front of the camera and be that person like who people want to watch.
Absolutely. And then you got to tear down after that.
Yeah.
So it's like there's so much that even when you're done filming, you're not done yet. And so it's frustrating, but it's a good creative outlet. And so hopefully we develop an audience here. We got 3 people right now, and 3 of you are in for a treat that are we're going to debut our most recent video. And we'll end the show because we're coming up on an hour now. So I think an hour is probably good to start off with and see where it goes from there. And then we'll go into a couple other videos that we were probably going to do, because there's a couple episodes I'd like to talk about. Because when we built one around the concept of the BBC,
Right.
and it turned into like a 10-minute video,
Right. Yeah.
just for one thing. But right there, if we had another person around to help with that, it would have been a lot easier in different angles. But it's just 2 of us in front of a camera. And as exciting and entertaining it was for us, it could have been better if we had more people involved. And so, anything left to say before we debut?
I guess the video that you're about to see is satirical.
Yes.
I'm not. So yeah, just take it with a grain of salt. It's supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be serious.
And for his safety, it was my idea. And without further ado, here we go.
Hey, what's up? We're
we're the Wearded Beirdos, Bearded Techie specifically.
And I'm Dr. Chatta. If you like this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. But you can also go to our individual channels. I have a channel of my own talking about chiropractic, and
I have my own tech tutorial channel. I do tech tutorials on pretty much everything I can get my hands on because stuff is expensive and I don't really get any freebies from any of these big companies. So I do what I can to help those of you who need it. But anyways, after you guys get a chance to check out our channels and everything, I want to let you know that right now we have a new coronavirus mask. This mask protects you against coronavirus and it also protects your beard. That's right, because we're the beard guys. So we figured we better do something about this coronavirus shit because we know that a lot of these masks are no good for your beard.
all right, let's get to it. All right, guys, welcome back. So, as many of you know, Wearded Beirdos is all about beard culture, and we just enjoy beard type products. And so, being a chiropractor, I have to wear a mask by law when I'm seeing my patients. They can do whatever, but I have to. But there's so many different variations, but none of them really pay attention to what's going on your face. They're there to protect basically others from breathing out and or me inhaling COVID-19 from them. And so all variations, whether it be DIY or store-bought or whatever, they'd only take into consideration your mouth and your nose. They never really pay attention to, and even this one here, you put it over your head, you can bring it up. It's more convenient than putting it around your ears, but you're still dragging it up and down over the beard. So the one that I use was custom made for me. It has a nice little brown Grim Reaper. And this is the one that I use. But even then, it's custom for my face. But you can see here, even if I pull it down and still have coverage over my nose, my beard is still hanging out. And by the end of the day, I'll have a line here or my goatee will be jumbled up, and I don't have time to stop in between every single patient when I take it on and take it off or do whatever to make sure everything's combed and taken care of. So I reached out to Bearded Techie because everybody knows that he's the DIY guy and wanted to see, hey, is there a way to create a mask so that I can protect myself, I can protect my patients and the people around me, but still maintain the integrity of this amazing beard.
That's right. I do a lot of DIY stuff. And when the doctor reached out to me asking me, what can I come up with for a mask? I work with my hands a lot. I'm constantly adjusting people. I don't have time to be touching my face and readjusting the mask and fixing my beard. So I thought, he's going to need something that covers his mouth, covers his beard, allows for comfort, and kind of, would also work for guys with longer beards too. And you know what? This also does kind of help shield your bald spot on top, I found. If you are getting a little bit of premature balding, this may help guard against that. So that's just a small bonus. But anyways, all you're going to need really is a pillowcase and a set of scissors. Now, first thing we're going to do is take our pillowcase, and you're going to need the corner, and you'll be able to get one mask per case. So let's see here. Yeah, and so we're going to cut along this line right here. Okay, you see that? And then this will be our main corner. Okay, so now you can take this piece here and you can get rid of it. Now you have this piece here. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put it on with the seam right here running down the bridge of your nose. So you're going to have to take off your hat if you're wearing one. And you're going to put it on. And then you're going to align it so that it will cover your beard properly, cover your mouth properly, and you're going to get an idea of where your eyes are. And then you're going to cut the eye holes. So mine is right about here and right about here. Now that I've got the eye holes measured and cut for myself, next thing we got to do is put it on for a test fit to see if we got it right. See, this is perfect. I can see perfectly fine. It protects my beard. I can see really well. Also, it protects my head. I'm also got a bald spot back here, and so this doesn't rub on my hair back there, so that's good for that. I don't know, Doctor, what do you think?
Yeah. that's it for today's episode of Wearded Beirdos. Bitter Techie and I are going to have a discussion on the future of our friendship. See you next time.
What?
All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Weirder Beardos out.
Peace.